Just realized I need to update that intro. It has the
Oh.
old.
Oh, hey.
It has the old thing on my intro. It says
Oh,
Chronicles of Mysterious Universe, not Paranormal Truth Seekers. So I need to update
it
that.
does.
Turning off my ringer, it conveniently went off right when I went live.
Mine did too.
All right, so happy whatever day this is, I don't even know anymore.
Today's Tuesday the 11th. I only know that because my calendar is up here in the front.
It's been a long day. Like I said, I got up about 1:30, worked 3 hours, busy nonstop morning shift every day.
Yeah, there's been a real been a real struggle for me. Lack of sleep, etc.
I must sleep good at night for sure.
Yes, sir. It's been like what? Been like, oh, geez.
I've had. There we go. So, background music. Yeah, it's distracting. Anyways, tonight we're going to talk about mind control.
Mm-hmm.
Something that's been kind of getting around here lately.
Oh yeah, dude. This is like a really broad topic and is very pertinent to our society. Once you really look at it, it's like, man, there's so much of this going around because it's a broad, umbrella term. Propaganda is included in that. Freaking all these different techniques. Let me pull up all my notes here since I am super unprepared. I did a little bit about this, I think, a couple weeks ago, but I just kind of went over a little bit of what I have. What do you think? What do you think are some examples of mind control going on in the day-to-day?
I think the biggest thing is probably subliminal messaging.
Subliminal messaging.
Brainwashing, that type of thing.
That's one of those things that sounds crazy, but advertisers are got in trouble for doing that and are now not allowed to do that. So at some point they were definitely doing that. So all these people in the 80s that were like, if you pause it, you could see this message. Like, it was really happening. Like, this stuff was actually occurring, bro.
Just within this one frame with the message, and you don't even notice it consciously, but subconsciously you see it.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts.
They say a lot of commercial advertisements, like wanted to sell things. Even now they just do product placement, which is just out in the open. They didn't even try and hide it.
Yeah, no, it's I read a book a while back called it's called The Art of Persuasion. So it's the it talks about this dude that worked in the advertising industry, and he talks about how you're literally being persuaded to buy something even before you come in a store. Like, there's all kinds of psychological tricks that are being employed against the populace on a daily basis to get you to say yes even before you get there. You know what I mean? Like, that's why, I know better than to even go into a car dealership, because all of a sudden I'm leaving with something I can't afford. And it's psychological mind games that are being played. You know what I mean?
There's one way to defeat that purpose: have bad credit, like me. You get turned down for that
car. They'll find a freaking way. Dang it! They'll find a way nowadays.
$3,000 down payment, which I can't afford either.
$3,000. We need $3,000 in your firstborn to do this transaction.
Yeah. Like I said, I got pre-approved at the dealership for a car on a Sunday. The bank's up on Monday, and all of a sudden, the bank requires $2,500 down payment. That car went back, and I couldn't afford the down payment.
And that's messed up because, when you take the car back, it's then losing value, or it's stupid, man.
They should have honored that.
$2,500. Oh, by the way, you're gonna need this $2,500 down payment. Oh, no big deal. That stuff is so messed up, dude. My goodness.
It is what it is. It is expensive anyway.
It was in that the when you had right before you left. Oh yeah, that was nice though, man.
It was a brand new little car.
I don't know. Whenever I think of mind control as a whole, I touched a little bit on this last time, but I think of the MK Ultra program, and that's one of the main things that turned me on to anything related to conspiracy is MK Ultra, because it's not debated. This is something that's been declassified, and it's It's a fact.
Mhm.
Like, they were literally using freaking LSD on people in experiments trying to alter their brain chemistry. Like, so some key aspects. So it was, for those that don't know, I'll give you the whole little spiel on it. So the MK Ultra program, also known as the CIA's mind control program, was a covert research project conducted by the United States Central Intelligence Agency from the 1950s to the early 70s. Its aim was to explore and develop techniques for mind control and behavioral modification. So it consisted of several sub-projects, many of which were carried out at universities, hospitals, and other research institutions. Let me put that again. Universities were doing these studies. Hospitals were doing these studies. If that doesn't raise red flags in your brain, I don't know what else will. That's one of the key aspects of all this, is like, this whole mind control thing it's gone so deep that it's insane. It's literally mind blowing, because like, they were doing this stuff in universities. They were doing this stuff in hospitals. Think about the pharmaceutical industry. They pretty much own hospitals. They pretty much own universities. They own, the direction that the people can study, like, because they're the ones financing it. Doctors can't go against what these people are telling them because they will lose their funding.
Mhm.
And like, people don't see that as a conflict of interest. Like, for example, a company doing the research or the testing for a product they are trying to sell. They are not doing independent testing. They're doing, what we're talking about now, right? Imagine a company doing their own research for a product that they have a vested interest in giving to you. And we accept this.
Oh, of course. But we got no choice. Like, I've been recently diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. Here's my morning regimen.
And guess what? They own you. And it's like, dude, like, just to stay alive, this medication is outrageously expensive.
That'll be the rest of my life.
It's insane, man. It's sad and insane. Just like insulin, for example, like, insulin is outrageously expensive, and you need that to live. Like, this should be, people should be up in arms about that stuff, but you'll get online and people will be like, well, they invented the product, so they deserve to make money, blah, 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 blah.
It's a service. I mean, like, for example, that prescription there, I just renewed it because I couldn't afford to before, so I went a month without it. You literally cannot afford to live.
It's not
I
good,
just
man.
now started getting back on it. I mean, it is what it is, but when you're poor, it costs you $50 to renew your prescription. It's horrible.
Right. So I got off on a little tangent there about university, because this is a really key freaking point of this, man. Like, when anybody ever comes up to me and like starts doubting anything conspiracy related, I'm like, dude, have you have any idea how many of these have been proven true? And if they were able to do this kind of stuff, like, so here's some things. They operated under strict secrecy. This is the MK Ultra program, and the full scope of the activities was not known until the program was declassified in the 70s. Some aspects and objectives of the program were behavior modification. MK Ultra aimed to develop methods to manipulate and control human behavior. This involved experiments to study the effects of various substances, including hallucinogenic drugs like LSD, on individuals' minds. Many people don't know that it was a doctor that worked for the CIA that invented LSD.
Oh, of course.
It's a key point here. Interrogation techniques. The program explored techniques to enhance interrogation and extract information from subjects against their will. These methods included the use of drugs, hypnosis, sensory deprivation, and psychological manipulation. And then another one is mind control, which is the whole point of this thing. MK Ultra sought to discover ways to control and influence an individual's thoughts, actions, and beliefs. Researchers investigated techniques such as electroconvulsive therapy, brain implants, and the use of subliminal messaging. What were we just talking about a minute ago? Subliminal messaging.
What do they call them? Sleeper agents, where they get trigger words,
right?
And that activates their hypnosis or something.
Yeah, that's interesting. I wanted to look up brain implants a little further, because like that just rang a little dinger in my brain. Give me a little tingle, give me a little buzzy there. Brain implants. What does that mean? Are we, implanting somebody's brain for future use, kind of a thing? Is that what we're talking about right now? This brain implants, little chips.
Well, they've been doing it since at least the 70s or 80s. I mean, who knows how far they come now?
Dude, oh my God. I don't even like to think about it. So, substances and drugs. The program extensively studied the effects of drugs on the human mind, particularly LSD, mescaline, and psilocybin. The psilocybin is basically magic mushrooms, for those that don't know. The CIA believed that these substances could be used to manipulate behavior and extract information.
True serum.
Right. I heard that was developed by them too. I wonder what that actually is.
Well, they say there's actually no such thing as true serum, but what it does, it just makes you, I guess, kind of loopy, where you just say stuff without realizing it. So basically, it's what it is.
It's probably, honestly, dude, MDMA, which is like Molly, whatever you want to call it. Like, that stuff will make you tell your whole life story. Like, like the times I may or may not have done that, I was as open as I've ever been in my entire life. Just spewed it all out, just like diarrhea of the mouth, just coming out.
Like, you have no filter anymore.
All right. So the MK Ultra faced significant criticism and controversy due to its unethical practices, including the administration of drugs to unwitting subjects, and experimentation and physical harm inflicted on participants. In some cases, the program led to long-lasting negative effects on the individuals involved. The project came under scrutiny in the 70s, leading to congressional investigations and subsequent public disclosures. As a result, MKUltra was officially halted in 1973, and the CIA claimed to have destroyed most of the program's records.
Sure.
It's awfully convenient when we destroy the records, huh? Like, awfully convenient.
We didn't want a paper trail, you know.
Nah, man. It's stuff like that, and like the regular people, they'll see something like this, see all the evidence, and be like, nah, man, there's nothing else going on here. Like do you, like, sometimes you just want to shake people and be like, what in the Jesus is going on here? Like, you can look at all the evidence put in front of you, all the evidence all around us, and still think that, like, the government's batting 100. There was this comedian dude I was watching. He's like, or it was like this TikTok video, and he's like, you don't believe in any conspiracy theories? It's fucking freaking hilarious, man. He's like, you think that the government's just batting 100? I actually stole that from him. Don't judge me. But
oh, not here.
It's like, any of them? Come on, man.
Oh, man, I mean, you can't even trust your own government. But that's a different story.
Man, you know damn sure you can't trust them. Doesn't matter whether you work for them or not. That makes it even worse.
Yeah.
You can't even trust them to pay you right. Please.
That's what I'm worried about.
Well, we'll find out in a couple of weeks now, won't we? Woo!
Don't get your hopes up yet.
No, I'm expecting doom and gloom, sir. I don't know. I'm just kidding.
Yep. Good time.
So, like, in history, who do you think, like, in our recent history, who do you think would be one of the best examples of mind control, like, effectiveness used on a populace?
Let's see. American history? Or in general?
Let's go world history.
Probably
Within
Hitler.
the last 100 years. Yeah, there you go.
He was
Easy.
a master manipulator.
Easy. Like, how is that example an example of mind control, you think?
It was, like you say, he manipulated people into thinking he was a good guy. He basically disarmed his entire country, and then that's when he took over.
Yep, and also he quite literally convinced an entire populace of people that the Jews were evil and needed to be destroyed. And he did that through, like, constant propaganda on the news, or not the news, but, like, basically the news on the TV. Like, the TV, apparently the video camera was invented or the moving picture machine, as they used to call it, was invented as a propaganda tool. And, like, in all honesty, I don't think that's ever changed. Like, the news, anytime, you know, the few moments that I ever see the news every once in a while, like, it's obvious, man. You turn it to Fox News or you turn it to CNN, they're going to play you the exact opposite of each other. And it's always, let's blame the other side. Let's blame the other side. Let's do this. It's all their fault. It's all their fault.
Mm-hmm.
and nothing ever gets solved, right?
Nope. Most of it's fear mongering.
It's obvious. Like, they repeat a lie often enough. That was Hitler's thing. He's repeat a lie, a big enough lie enough times, or whatever it is. There's the correct phrase for this. I'm messing it up, but it's like you repeat a lie often enough, it becomes truth. But it's honestly true.
Yeah. I mean, even he said the perfect person was a tall, blonde, fair-skinned, blue-eyed person. But yet he was a short, black-haired guy with a little weird mustache.
Yeah, that shit didn't make no damn sense. And like, that Hitler was like, he was deeply into like all the ancients, like all the, I'm not going to say that I'm similar, but he's into like a lot of the stuff that I believe, like about ancient history, ancient civilizations. And like, he went searching for all that stuff and like found out he believed it was true. So I went down to Antarctica and started a base, which they still have a base there today. Not a conspiracy. They still have a base. Look it up. Don't judge me.
True. He was into magic, metaphysics, and all that weird stuff.
I don't think that other dude's joining us.
Nah. Well, we tried.
It's okay.
Maybe next time.
Yeah, he was definitely into all that stuff, man. And, dudes, I mean, I don't know. I hate to talk about the dude because then people are like, "Oh, you don't like that guy. You're a Nazi." No, not at all, sir. Quite opposite. Quite opposite. I actually spent years mercilessly fighting Nazi people at concerts. I think I've been over this with you before, but in my younger, more angry days.
So much rage.
Yes, sir. Let's see what else I got on that. I mean, I'm assuming that people know their World War II history, right? I'm assuming people know about that. How he literally freaking convinced his populace of people to literally exterminate over 1 million Jews. Like, it's insane, man.
Yeah, the concentration camps and all that, the Holocaust.
So that's actually an example of propaganda-based mind control. Propaganda is probably the single most important tool that has ever been invented. Like, it's been used throughout history. Like, you can look at history through the beginning of written, recorded history. Propaganda has been used by governments. It's been used by dropping newspapers from the sky. It's been dropping, posting newsletters, the news getting up and telling you something that's nonsense, like repeating it over and over and over again, like certain things that they talked about for a couple years, just over and over again, that it's going to kill us all. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And if anybody, like anybody who knows how the brain works, like if you get some, if you tell yourself something often enough, your subconscious is going to believe that and you're going to act on it. It's going to create that reality for you. Like that's why there's so many people walking around sick. Like everybody was gaining symptoms. I'm symptomatic. I need to go get tested. And like there was such a huge amount of testing for certain things. You know what I mean? And it's like hypochondria. Like most people weren't even getting sick. I mean, not to say that people didn't, but like if you are constantly being inundated by all this, hey, you're going to get sick knowledge. Hey, I'm going to believe I'm sick.
It's like, well, I can't say the C word. I almost did. I almost messed up. I almost said the C word. But if you got that sickness and you tested for it, you're guaranteed to be positive, most likely.
It's nuts, man. Don't do it. Don't do it.
It
talk about it.
They're
going to take us down, sir. They're going to take us down like before.
Sure
So governments have historically employed propaganda techniques to manipulate public opinion and shape collective beliefs. Here's a few examples of propaganda-based mind control used by governments. Nazi Germany, which we talked a little bit about, the Nazi regime under Adolf Hitler exclusively used propaganda to control the minds of the German populace. Joseph Goebbels, the minister of propaganda, they literally had a minister of propaganda, orchestrated a sophisticated propaganda machine that disseminated messages promoting Nazi ideology, demonizing target groups such as the Jews, communists, and other minorities, and fostering a blind loyalty to Hitler and the Nazi Party. Another example is Soviet Union under Stalin. Joseph Stalin's regime in the Soviet Union employed propaganda as a powerful tool for mind control. The state-controlled media and arts were used to glorify Stalin and his policies, rewrite history to fit the party's narrative, and instill fear and loyalty among the population. Dissenting voices were suppressed, and censorship was rampant. Doesn't that sound familiar? Dissenting voices were suppressed, and censorship was rampant.
If you say something they don't like, they will censor you.
And what is an example of that? I'm going to give you one example. We had full-blown Harvard-educated doctors saying certain things, and they were being silenced. Mm-hmm. Just an example. You know what I'm saying? Not going to say anything else, but we all know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm. People disappearing, committing suicide.
And the idea, so one of the things it says is rewrite history. For those that don't know, governments have been rewriting history for a long time. So our history that we think we know about the world is false.
Oh,
like we have a version of history that we're taught, but in all honesty, we have absolutely no way of knowing if it's 100% true. Like,
no way.
There's a famous quote by Frank Herbert that I beat into your mind every time I talk about it, was that the gravest mistake a thinking man can make is to think that any one version of history is absolute. History is written by a group of observers, none of whom are impartial. I've said it so much, I have it memorized.
It's like you said, like people who win the war have their version of history.
Mm-hmm.
The people who lost have their version, and there's two different stories.
That's true. And then another good example of this is the Cold War era. During the Cold War, both the United States and the Soviet Union, not the United States, they would never utilize propaganda to shape global perceptions and gain support for their respective ideologies. The U.S. employed techniques such as McCarthyism to instill fear of communism and maintain conformity. McCarthyism. I feel like I need to look that up because I have not heard of that. So to look at this, to instill fear of communism. Think of how much of us have grown up with the idea that the Russians the communists were going to bomb us, and we need to be scared of them, and this or that. So every single one of us has grown up scared of freaking Russia and scared of nuclear war. And do we even have proof that they were ever going to nuke us? No, we don't.
Nope.
While the Soviet Union, they propagated socialist and communist ideas to support and gain support amongst its population and influence other nations. Well, North Korea, this is a good one. The North Korean regime under the leadership of the Kim family has employed intense propaganda to maintain control over its population. The state-controlled media promotes a personality cult around the leaders Kim Sung, Kim Jong-il, and Kim Jong-un. Just butchered all them names, I'm sure.
Sounds like to me.
Portraying them as godlike figures and disseminating narratives of the state's superiority and constant external threats. That's
basically, if you're in North Korea, you have no rights at all.
Right. Portraying them as godlike figures. That's nuts, man.
Mm-hmm. And statues erected, and a couple 100,000 years, they're going to find those remnants like, oh, there's the gods they worship back then.
It's true, man. It could be true. I was thinking about that the other day when I was watching the Avengers. I'm like, man, what if an ancient civilization found this story and is like, oh, that's our gods? Whoa. I mean, a future civilization.
And it was just a comic book, yeah. I mean, who knows? Like, oh man, this Superman in these ancient tablets, and there's a comic book. These are the beings they worship back in the day. Superhuman strength.
Right. I don't know. It's one of those things. It's like, I don't know. It's not on any kind of a format that would be able to withstand the test of time. A comic book is going to degrade. That's why, I choose to think that, when they made these Sumerian tablets and whatnot, they wanted people to find this information. They
put a lot of work into it. Yeah, they had to chisel it in there.
We think that, they only did that because their technology was not advanced. And the fact is, they're probably trying to leave us this information for future references, for future civilizations.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing, sir? Oh, okay.
He's talking to himself.
Yes, talking to myself. I'm talking to people in the room here.
You're seeing things that aren't there. They got to them.
Could be, man. Putting it in my brain.
It's a holographic perception beam being sent directly to you.
Oh my god, dude. That's weird. I started watching Star Trek for the first time. I've never even watched Star Trek, bro, besides like little episodes here and there. I was like, yesterday, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to sit and try to watch this.
What's amazing, the technology they had in that show was actually relevant today.
I think that they, upon watching it, and I've heard many people in the conspiracy community talk about it, it's like, dude, they probably already possess that technology. Like, they're probably already using it. It's like an example of what really is happening.
Mm-hmm.
All right, continuing on with the propaganda stories. So the Gulf War and Iraq War. During the Gulf War in 1990 and 1991 and the Iraq War in 2003, governments, particularly the United States, employed propaganda techniques to shape public perception and gain support for military actions. Media campaigns, selective presentation of information, and manipulation of narratives were used to create a specific image of the conflicts and influence public opinions. That's a hot button issue, really, really hot button issue, and I have my beliefs on the Iraq War.
Yeah,
and
I've heard some stuff.
No, it's one of those things, man. Like, nobody's ever had to answer for this crap, but the fact is, there was never any weapons of mass destruction, never. Like, we know that, they've confirmed that, and we literally, dude, murdered millions of people in this war. We're the ones that created ISIS. Like, ultimately, we created all of this under a false pretense, and it's the warmongering freaking. It's not we, not us as a country. The people that want war that are in the Oval Office, like the same people that are on certain, Biden's administration, the same people that were on during Bush, like these people that are making money from war, they're profiting off the chaos. It's sad, man. It really is. War. Hey, Star Trek, the original series, my favorite show. Yeah, dude, I started watching it, man. I'm kind of hooked now, man. Like, I never really watched it. Like, I've been a Star Wars fan. I thought you couldn't be both. I'm like, nah, I can be both. I'm not gonna be ridiculous.
Oh, of course.
Okay.
Like, I seen a movie where they went back in time to save the whales or whatever, and that was one of the movies. The Star Trek ones. I forgot which one.
Yeah, I've seen like the newer movies. Like, I thought they were pretty good. I mean, obviously the show I was watching was set in the 80s. Like, I feel like slightly cheesy, but it's still cool. Like, pretty well put together, honestly, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of diehard fans out there. All right, now when it comes to mind control, we talked about people behind it. Now let's talk about some of the technology being used to implement it.
It's a good direction. What kind of technology? What do you think is an example of technology being used to influence people's minds?
Well, the biggest conspiracy currently is all this 5G stuff.
Right, like what?
The stuff they put in the water,
Mm-hmm.
There's so many different things out there that are potentially being said to being used for that purpose, to dumb us down, control us. Specifically 5G in I don't want to say the vaccine word, I won't say the other word. The combination of the two together could cause issues.
Oh God, he said it. He said we're getting taken out now. Oh no.
I didn't say the C word. But it's implied.
We ain't talking about it. No, you're right, dude.
It's what's the word I'm looking for? Like a theory? No, theory. Man, you had to come to me later.
It's interesting about 5G. So I watched a documentary about it a long time ago, and it's honestly, so anybody who doesn't think that 5G is actually putting out harmful radiation is stupid. They're not. Obviously, like, even regular radio waves from our phones are putting out harmful radiation. So it would be obvious that if we increase that, it's going to increase the band, but that's another thing. Mm-hmm. But I watched a documentary it was this military guy. He talks about how 5G can be used in combination with LED lighting in a house to map an environment inside the house. You can literally see where everybody is in the house and get a digital rendering. And so I'm like, that sounded kind of crazy back then. Now I just seen a article that talked about how AI.
Uh,
You ever seen Batman: The Dark Knight?
yes, I was going to reference
When
that. They
he
did the same thing there.
when he
In
freaking
sonar.
used this little post or sonar thing to be able to map the environment. So, and I just read this article that said AI is going to be able to use the 5G bandwidth to see where you're at in the house. They're going to be able to know where you're at all times in a house. I'm like, dude, so this is not a crazy conspiracy theory. It's funny how people always think of this stuff as insane until a reputable source comes out and being like, oh, yes, this is okay for you to believe now. Like, let me give you another prime example. This is going to get fired up. So for years, they've been telling us that geoengineering and, terraforming of the earth is not possible. And now I'm just hearing that they're going to plan on geoengineering Mars to create an atmosphere. Are you telling me that we can influence weather?
They do now.
Like they're just telling us now that we can, but like they're going to deny it and tell you to put on a freaking tinfoil hat for like 10 years now. Like, tell me that's not insane, dude. Tell me we don't live in like some type of insane asylum right now.
I mean, they got what they call it, a cloud seeding, where they can make it rain. You got HARP,
exactly,
control the weather.
Like, that's wild, bro. Like, I read this shit like in Indonesia. They were like, "Oh, we're gonna seed clouds and make it rain." This is just possible now. We can spray chemicals and make clouds. Oh, shoot! Holy crap!
Supposedly they can create earthquakes. They can do all kinds of stuff.
Buckle up, people, because this is wild. Okay.
I wonder if we're to a point. I'm sure we've already been there, but at a point where if they wanted to, they could literally destroy the planet within seconds.
I wonder.
Probably.
Dude, have you seen this? The whistleblower that came out about the stuff in Antarctica. I think I shared that article with you. Like, it came out recently. He's like submitted his documents and proof to the Pentagon for investigation, which of course he's submitting it to people who are in on this whole thing. But like, he talked about how there's technology down there that can, like harness energy and use it as like a directed energy type weapon. Yeah. Like, so now we're admitting we have like directed energy technology. Like, excuse me, folks. Wait a minute. All these people have been saying this crap for a while. They're all been crazy. Or the guy coming out and saying that was on the mainstream news recently and saying they're reverse engineering UFO crashes that they found. Yeah. Oh, so now the mainstream media is telling it, and like everybody's like, "Oh, damn, yeah, it must be true now."
And still, it's not a big thing. People aren't going crazy in the streets. There's so many distractions right now. You could literally record a UFO landing, an alien getting out, and people will just change the channel. Now, what else is on?
Right, seriously, because it's freaking TV. It's literally
we're numb to it now.
It's freaking wild. We're freaking literally just numb to all this crap.
Okay, so they're real. All right, next.
What do you think another form of technology that's being used to manipulate people's minds is?
Let's see.
What do you think the main one that is being used would be?
Probably radio waves. I mean, it's wireless. They can beam it from anywhere. Satellites,
That's true, man. Sorry, I got freaking distracted for a second.
You're good.
People sending me funny stuff. Oh my goodness. Yeah, no, like the radio waves thing. Hold on, I'm dying here. I need a moment, sir.
Do what you got to do, man.
All right, all is well. No, yeah, the radio waves thing is genius, man. Like, just make it even funnier.
We've been doing it for years. I mean, just think how long. Like even from the 60s and 50s, you had your bunny ears. You're taking in radio waves to watch your news channels or whatever. It's been an option for forever. If you could see all the waves in the air, that's all you can see because you got Wi-Fi, radio, 5G, this, that. It's just
right. That shit's all around us, man, at all times. Like literally, like you just can't fucking see it. It's probably the same way that like other dimensions work. It's probably just a different frequency that exists all around us at all times. You know what I mean? Permeating this world, if you will.
Mm-hmm. We can't see it. Does that mean it's not affecting us, though?
Oh, it definitely is, man. I mean, dude, like, they've literally done studies, like people living next to like radio towers and stuff getting cancer and stuff. Like,
Mm-hmm.
but there's something that Bill Clinton signed into law, like during his administration or whatever, that says that people can't argue about cell phone towers going up. They can just do whatever they want. They're able to put them wherever, and nobody can argue with it. It's not the exact wording. It's some type of infrastructure thing where like people, I don't know. You'll have to look it up, but it was in that 5G documentary I watched. That was like the 5G apocalypse.
Mm-hmm. I used to do tech support for AT&T back in the day, and they would give us this training about overlapping waves from the different towers, and that if you live like at a certain point where the waves were the strongest compacted, that potentially could be harmful to your health. But we're not allowed to talk about that kind of stuff.
No, dude. There's a radio tower right by our over here, not too far from the house, and like on the fence it says emits harmful radiation waves or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like what? Like, but no, that it doesn't happen. It's not real. You know what I mean? It's not real at all.
Well, you want to get 5 bars,
We need the 5 bars. Like I need these bars in my house right now. Like I can only really get Wi-Fi. So when I'm trying to send memes back and forth, it's painful. I gotta like stand up on the freaking.
It's got to load.
Gotta stand up on the couch and maybe talk dirty to my phone a little bit to get it to work.
Well, think about the one thing everybody has now and no longer has at the same time. Everybody has one of these, but basically nobody has landlines anymore. Just this mobile. Everybody's gotten rid of their landlines.
Mm-hmm.
Like back in the 80s, or even when cell phones first came out, you had a cell phone and you had a home phone. Now it's just cell phones.
But I was at this restaurant with Mom. God bless her. Bless her heart. She was like, "How do they get internet out here?" And she's like, "I bet they can't get internet." I'm like, "They have satellite internet now. Did you know that?" And she's like, "No, that doesn't exist." Yeah. They have satellites in space that can beam you internet. Plus, they probably have landlines, that plug, the old G plug into the
Starlink. Starlink, the whole purpose of it is to provide free internet on a global scale.
I just read an article that says now that there's evidence that Starlink is emitting harmful radiation.
Of course it is. Why not? It is beaming it all over the planet.
Right. So one of the things I wanted to say was about like one of the examples of technology that's being used, I think, the most extensively in history to control people's minds. What do you think it is?
Food, water.
Social media, sir. Social media. Way off, sir, but it's okay. It's okay. I mean, food, water, it probably is true. I mean,
you are so right. I mean, even I'm addicted to Facebook. I'm always checking Facebook, or YouTube. And we're on it right now. We're on social media.
I give you an example of like if you watch The Great Hack on Netflix, it talks about a company called Cambridge Analytica that was using weaponized military-grade software during like the 2016 election to influence people's minds. And it's literally court, it's been proven in court. They were found guilty. And the person that was trying to get the data from them that started this whole documentary, they wouldn't give it to him. They wouldn't, like, you have a right to your data, and they wouldn't give it to him. They said that they had like, a bunch of data points on every single person that had interacted with their software. And what they were doing is analyzing you as a person and then targeting you with specific types of ads that literally influenced your mind.
Mm-hmm.
And do you think that they ran this dry run, didn't give anybody the data? Who do you think has that tech? Who do you think was going to have it? You know damn well the government has that technology. They're using military software to begin with, bro.
If I say Pizza Hut right now, I'm going to get an ad or see something for it pretty soon.
Mm-hmm. But, dude, it is mind-blowing to think that people are still denying it. Like, you can be talking about, well, I'll get an ad for something I was talking about the whole day. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, social media, again, definitely being used as a weapon. And, like, no other thing in history has been able to be used like this to get to as many people at once and to influence as many people at once. Like, you can get on I can speak to you with conviction and passion and get you to believe what I want you to believe just by giving you fact after fact, even if the facts are something I just made up. You know,
just got to sound good.
Doesn't even matter anymore. And like people will get on here, and a lot of people are just dumb. Some people are dumb. I'm not going to be mean. Not trying to be mean, but hey, the fact is, some people are just idiots, and they'll eat up anything they see online. And like some people will share me things. I'm like, bro, you got to vet this stuff. You need to go and check this against like 3 or 4 different sources before trying to send it to me. Like, I believe in some weird stuff. But
a good question though: are people just getting dumber, or are they being, created that way?
I don't know. That's a good question.
For example, remember when Jurassic Park came out? They put a poster out of a guy in front of a dinosaur with a gun, and people were outraged. Like, why are they hunting dinosaurs? Why are they killing them for? And they literally thought dinosaurs were living creatures.
I mean,
that was a thing.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about, and that does make sense. I read through comments sometimes just to get entertainment. I used to argue with people, and now I don't, because you're not going to gain anything. And personally, I think that there is, and it's, there's whistleblowers that have come out and say it, that there's literally bots, or people that are paid to get into comment sections and literally argue and post stuff that gets people riled up. Because what does that do? It gets more people to interact with that video, whatever it is that they're watching. So anything that invokes an emotional reaction out of you is a manipulation, 100%. And yes, it could be getting dumber, but I think it's what did George Carlin say? He said that if you imagine how dumb the average person is, half the population is dumber than that, or something like that. I butchered it, but
in our line of work, we see it every day, and that's why I call them sheeple. They're literally sheep. When people come in, they're just so lost. I mean, it's like they have no idea what's going on.
They're sheep, and we're the shepherds, bro. And unfortunately, we have to sometimes take their water bottles and and fondle parts. Oh my God, I'm dying.
DTS.
What's wrong with you, bro? All right, hold on a second.
I'll call it that forever. Call it that forever.
He said DTS.
Don't forget the question the parents ask the kids: you want to go to the airport or a theme park? They're gonna choose the airport. It's a big toy.
Oh my God, man!
There's nothing more fun than rollers on the conveyor belt for a kid.
It's freaking hilarious. This dude is my coach, and he used to call this certain station the DTS, and it's short for the dick touching station. Oh my God!
That's what it is. There's absolutely no reason for it to alarm there, but it does.
Dying out here. Oh, this is good stuff.
Like people wear just the weirdest clothes to an airport. No one is going to make them alarm and get pat downs.
We could probably do a whole hour of just comedic responses to stuff we've seen. It's insane, man.
Oh yeah.
Like working with the public is like,
it's horrible.
It's like babysitting random kids all the time.
I've lost faith in mankind a long time ago just from watching people.
I remember during the thing we won't mention, the thing that shut down the world, people like they'd be like wanting you to change your gloves 13 times, and then their kids would be crawling around all over the ground like, bro, you're worried about me changing my gloves, but your freaking kids are out here licking the toilet seats and crawling around on the ground. Like,
well, they come in the airport in a full hazmat gear. If it's that scary, stay home. If you're that concerned about flying, stay home.
No, they're going to bring that stuff to us.
Disney World's going to be there after this junk's over with.
Oh, my God.
That's why I call it Family Fun Day. I still call it that, too. On Saturdays, Family Fun Day. And they're going to Disney World. Man. And they're going to Disney World.
Man, I love this. This is good conversations right here, sir. I'm dying.
It's been a long day.
Yes, sir. Let me give it a couple more examples of mind control. Let's see. I think another really big one, man, is this is a controversial one too, and lots of people hate on me for it. But is religious mind control.
Oh yeah.
So there's all sorts of different cults I can give you examples of that have been managed to, like certain psychopathic individuals will control people into drinking Kool-Aid, and they all die. Was that it's not Jonestown. Jonestown was when
that was when the mothership was coming and they had to die to get on it.
the Jonestown, the massacre one, Jonestown massacre. That was when
That's when they drank the Kool-Aid.
Oh, is Jonestown the Kool-Aid one?
And there was an asteroid or something, and behind that supposedly was a mothership, and they had to be dead to, for whatever reason, get on it.
But what if this dude was telling the truth though, bro? Like, what if he knew something we didn't, man? What if
he's crazy and we're all in paradise right now? We're all down here suffering.
I mean, they could be, bro. They could have been knowing something we didn't. What if these people they got on this ship and are free now, and they're all laughing at us while we sit here and talk about it. They escaped the Matrix, if you will.
All right, give me some Kool-Aid.
I used to know where to get cyanide at. No, I'm just kidding. It's a joke, man. They're going to come to my house, sir.
It's a joke. Kick the door right now. Where is it?
No, I don't work in metal finishing no more, but that's some nasty stuff. That's all I got to say.
I'm sure.
Now people are going to be like, you're out here defending cult masters. Oh, my goodness. What have you done? He killed all... Look, it's fucked up what he did. I'm just saying.
Scientology.
Hey, there's another one. I researched, because I spent a while researching religion, I researched Scientology for a bit. And what they did... Essentially, they had a charismatic leader come out, and what he did is research a bunch of stuff from history and all these different stuff that ancient religions knew, and he tried to make his own religion out of it. That's all it really is. But yeah, I've heard through many stories that they're cults or a cult leader, or they operate like a cult. But it's what the hell are you doing over there, sir? For God's sakes, if you don't remove yourself from the living room. All right.
He's talking to the government again.
Karate chop. Anyway, yes, very cult-like from my understanding. Like, again, when I read it, I'm like, man, they're just stealing ideas from different religions and trying to claim it off as their own. But, I mean, that's not unheard of in history, as many religions do that exact same thing. And honestly, most seek to control people's minds. Like the idea of religion, it keeps you trapped in a box. As a person who firmly believes in God, yes. I just don't do religion. Like, I can talk to anybody in any religion about God all day long and still have that same connection. But I don't need to go to the church and have somebody tell me what I can find for myself, because that's what you're meant to do. That the world is the church. You're supposed to go talk to people, help people. Like, if anybody just listened to what Jesus was trying to say, man, he's literally trying to say, go help people out. Go help people on your path. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it is. That's my sermon for the day, sir. That's my TED Talk. Okay.
When we think about it, you have two different versions. You have an all-loving, powerful God. Which one are you going to fear more, or the one's going to see you to hell for eternity for doing something wrong?
Yeah, dude. No, humans have always had a fear of death. 100%. And this is something I've argued about.
Death, I think.
Yeah, like it's, the fear of what's beyond death. You're right. So like throughout, in the early parts of history, that has been something that's been used to manipulate people. Like, hey, I got you the answer, bro. You come to me, you take all these Hail Marys, you get into heaven. You know what I mean? 15 Hail Marys. I don't care if you went and freaking killed 3 people and pillaged and raped, whatever you wanted to do. You know what I mean? You're good now with me. Okay, bro, I got you. 15 Hail Marys, we're good to go. That doesn't make any sense to anybody, okay? When you say it out loud, it doesn't make any sense.
I mean, even Family Guy does a parody on that with, I think, is it Hitler or Saddam Hussein, one of those guys. And what they're talking about, getting into heaven, and all you got to do is, ask for forgiveness, and it shows him kicking the door to Bin Laden's house. And right before they kill him, he says, I accept Jesus as my Lord and Savior. Then he dies. Then he appears in heaven. Fools.
That's what, how many people have had this argument with me, and like, you can just accept Jesus and you can do anything you want and you'll still go. Like, like I said, I mean, I believe that Jesus was a real person. I believe in a lot of things. I just don't accept what I've been told without questioning. It's not something that I can do, because when you ask questions of these people, they always dance it around it. It's just like talking to a politician. You ever wondered like how annoying it is when you get asked the question and they don't answer the question? They do everything in their power but answer the question. Well, yes, you see this and that. That what? No, it's a yes or no question. Well, you see this and that. Like, what is it? Yes or is it no, sir?
Well, it's not as simple as that. Like, yes, it is.
Did you traffic these children?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I plead the Fifth Amendment. To me, that means you done did it and you don't want to incriminate yourself. I mean, like I watched that damn Jeffrey Epstein trial. I plead the Fifth. I plead the Fifth. Like when you do that to me, in my opinion, you just done admitted it. You don't admit it at all. But the way the justice system works, and unfortunately, most every one of these people are lawyers and judges themselves, or they have the judges in their pockets.
Our justice system. Don't get me started on that.
Justice.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he's got a small ounce of pot. 30 years in jail, life, no parole. Oh, he
now
just
it's
raped that
legal.
woman. Give him a month.
That's wild, bro. It's insane. Like the idea that somebody's, people are in jail in this state, for example, still for weed crimes, and it's legal now. You can go to the store and buy it. Like that's it. I mean, hell, that's another example of mind control right there. Just people being told that marijuana is evil and a terrible drug and is the same thing as cocaine and crack, and anybody who actually spent some time smoking the weed, like me, for example, I smoked a lot of weed in my life. It is nothing like crack or meth or heroin.
No.
Like you can smoke weed and eat some Oreos, or you can do heroin and live in the gutter and rob your friends. And
well, that's the big difference. Weed is a naturally grown substance. The cocaine and junk is manufactured chemicals in the warehouse somewhere. If it's natural from the earth, then it's fine.
There's a line from Cat Williams that is pertinent here. He said, what the hell does he say? He says, it just grows like that. And if you should happen to set it on fire, it does have some effects. Crack or drugs, you got to do stuff to it chemically. You got to add baking soda, stir it up. I don't know the recipe. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
It's not how you make crack, by the way. I'm just saying.
Well, it's like weed, for example. They say it's a calming medicine, whatever that word is. Medicine, whatever that. Yeah, I can't say it. It's been a long day. But anyways, it cures things. Like it's been proven to actually kill cancer cells. People with glaucoma, people with Parkinson's and stuff. It actually treats that. But yet it's illegal in most places.
Mm-hmm.
And at least federally, so we can't partake in it.
It's so fucking stupid, man, that is illegal, because I mean, the second that stuff becomes legal, man, I'm gonna smoke like a chimney every day. You know what I mean? All kinds of high, all kinds of stuff.
Have a good day. I mean,
like, I don't know. I guess we're going on this tangent because it is an example of mind control. It's propaganda. Like, there's a reason why they don't want, hemp to be legal. The timber industry, we can replace concrete. You can literally make hemp into almost any product, dude. And we wouldn't need, it grows much faster than trees. We wouldn't need to sacrifice entire forests and plant our little, we planted a forest, so we're cool, but we destroyed everything. Like, stupid, man. But that's what it is. The timber industry started putting out all this propaganda, and whatever year they decided to do that, and thus making it legal. And everybody still to this day, you look at online and like, well, if we're going to legalize that, why not legalize harder drugs? Like, you're the dumbest person ever. Whenever I see that, I think of their IQ being like the equivalent of a stone. Like, like seriously, man. Like, think about it. Like, you think that somebody, have you ever heard of a story? You've never heard of anybody overdosing. You've never heard of somebody getting stoned and beating their wife. You've never heard of somebody getting stoned and, doing anything other than eating up their whole damn fridge. Okay.
Well, that's the biggest thing, though. Weed is said to cure cancer, but the one thing that is legal causes it.
Mm-hmm.
What's the irony of that?
Cigarettes are the number one killer in America.
It's part of the depopulation. They want to destroy the population of the planet.
Cigarettes, and then I think it's alcohol, and then like opiates. I don't know. I looked this up the other day.
Everything causes cancer. Everything basically causes cancer. If you overcook that hot dog on the grill, you're going to get cancer. I mean, it's crazy.
Oh, I got another example of propaganda and mind control. Pfizer, for example. Pfizer, paid out the biggest settlement in history. In history, they paid out for lying about the effectiveness of a drug and, prescribing it to like tons and tons of people under false pretenses. And then they had to pay out billions of dollars because they lied and admitted they lied. So these are the people that we trusted.
Careful with your words.
That we trusted, you know what I mean?
Everybody on YouTube just sat up like this. He's going to say it. Get ready.
No, I'm not doing it. We mentioned that crap one time and they took our whole video down.
Mm-hmm.
People know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
We know, sir. We know the truth out here. And I still got that crap too. It's in my body. It's just in there. It's floating around doing God knows what. Lord help me. I'm going to fucking grow another version of me. Maybe grow extra testicles. Who knows, man? It just hasn't happened, okay?
They got to activate the 5G first.
Dude, that was... How do we freaking know, dude? Like, dude, I was reading about nanotechnology the other day. And I didn't even know that was... I thought that was in the movies, bro. That's a real thing. Like, there's really such thing as nanobots, like little tiny robots. They could putting that in your body right now. Like, this could not even be me. I could have already been cloned. You don't even know.
Your eye just flashes red for a second. All right, it's time to end this. Oh, man. I mean, you don't know, though. That's the case. I could be a clone and don't even know it. I think I'm real. I'm like AI and don't think I'm real.
It's called crack, and it's so easy to make. All right. Tyrone Biggums. Is that guy's name? The crack guy from Dave Chappelle? I feel like it's Tyrone Biggums.
That sounds familiar.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're about out of time, but
oh wow, yeah.
Don't be freaking laughing at me. People texting me laughing at my jokes. I'm offended. I'm triggered.
Jokes are a good thing. Jokes are a good thing. You gotta laugh. Laughing makes you live longer.
I know, man. I was having some real indigestion before I got on here, and now I feel lighter. I feel good. I had a little bit of laugh, and my phone is recording everything I'm saying and trying to put it in a text. Oh,
convenient.
So, just share really quick. Please like and follow and subscribe. I do TikToks, inspirational messages on TikTok. I'll help you come to Jesus. Not really. I like to do inspirational TikToks. What? Jesus?
I was pointing at you.
You're pointing the wrong direction, sir.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, is it mirrored? That's why. Oh, this guy's like my hitchhiking over here.
Yeah, I was like hitchhiking. Who the hell's the guy over there? Like, what are we doing here?
Well, my screen, if I'm doing this, I'm pointing towards you, so it's mirrored on my side for some reason.
Oh yeah, I can't do the unmirror thing. I was talking about that earlier. Like, it makes me have a fucked up view of my face. Like, I don't know, man. When I do the unmirror, is that how my face really looks? Is it really fucking this lopsided? Like, seriously? Like, makes me lose my mind. I can't. You ever unmirrored it?
I just unmirrored it. So now what I'm doing is I'm pointing that way, so it's throwing me off.
Is it unmirrored?
For me,
the fuck, your face didn't change at all.
Because I'm looking straight.
Nah, son. I ain't gonna do it because it's gonna make me look all fucked up.
Like a reptilian, almost. You think?
Oh, yeah, yes.
This guy's not real. Get me off this plane. That's another story.
Yeah, that's a good one too. Well,
yes.
Shit. Whole conspiracy theory. Everything is freaking mind control examples, dude. Like everything. Mm-hmm. Like the idea of conspiracy theory as a whole is literally a mind control mechanism. Like that idea itself is, hey, you're a conspiracy theorist. Nothing you're saying is true. Mm-hmm.
And you're crazy.
Mm-hmm. And the government's. Let me just swipe left here. Dislike.
Unsubscribe.
I think swiping left is good. I think so. I need to write. Which one is it? I don't use Tinder. Okay, swiping left is bad. Is swiping left good?
The worst one is click the unsubscribe button. They want to
unsubscribe. Don't unsubscribe. Anyway,
We want you
All
to
right, my friend.
subscribe.
Yes, like, subscribe, follow us, and come laugh with us every whatever day this is of the week.
All right, so now I'm pointing towards you, I'm guessing.
Negative, sir. You can look at if you can look at the camera. Doesn't it show you on your camera which way you're pointing, bro? Like on the picture? This
Well,
guy
I'm
in
doing
front of
this.
you?
My thumb is pointing towards you right now on my
It
view.
is. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Excuse me?
Anyways, this guy's on Reflections. I'm on Paranormal Talk. Subscribe to both of us. Let's throw out some, rock and roll devil horns.
Metal, bro. Metal. All right. It's good talking to you as always, sir.
Oh, yeah. We'll catch you next time. Same time next week.
Yes, sir. Have a good one.
You too. Later. All right, so we're going to wrap up here. It is bedtime. I've been up since 1:30 this morning. I'm tired. Hope you enjoyed tonight's show. Give it a like. Give it a subscription if you haven't already. Mr. JB333 is over on Reflections. I'm over on Paranormal Talk. You can find links to both our channels on the Facebook group. Hopefully you're already part of that. If you're not, look us up. Paranormal Talk. You'll find us. I'm sorry, Paranormal Truth Seekers is what I meant to say. Like I said, it's been a long day. That being said, I'm going to get ready to go. And good night, Beth. Thanks for being a dedicated viewer. We always like to see you in the comments there. And we'll catch you next week. Same time, same place. Have a great night.